Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. We're going to use the Connolly Tarot for your reading today. A reminder that I'm in Unanderra this weekend. We have a 2-day fair there. If you're interested in having a reading with me, the booking is on my Facebook page at the Aussie Goddess. You can go and have a little look for it. If not, contact me and I will direct you to the right person. Just a little a thing that's becoming very evident again in the last few days is people asking me for free readings. Please don't take it personally if I don't respond or I don't answer you. There are hundreds, possibly thousands of people that follow me, and last time I started doing it on TikTok, it got out of control. So I figure I'm better off not starting anything anymore. If you want a reading with me, I offer readings from $55 upwards. That's $55 Australian. So you can book via my Facebook page, my webpage at www.theaussiegoddess, or you can email me. Either way is fine, but as I said, it's not a personal thing. It's just if I start something, it just goes crazy. And I guess it would be like an electrician offering you free electrical advice. Unfortunately, it's just not something that I can provide. All right, let's get into this reading. Okay, so we have the Tower coming through. My goodness, I feel this energy very, very much at the moment with people around. There seems to be this sort of energy of people really sort of hitting points in their life where, you know, things have to change. They may be doing things a certain way for a long time, and it's like we are all being slowly awoken by the universe to things that we do that maybe doesn't serve us. I talk about patterns and cycles that you developed when you were children, or even as adults without actually realizing it. Some of us get well into our adulthood before we realize that perhaps we have learned to do things certain ways that aren't really helpful for us. And that means changing the way we do things. When the Tower comes around, sometimes it can point to an event, rather than an epiphany, but something here is about to change in some sort of dramatic way, because it has to. It cannot continue the way it started. You've built something on what we see as a faulty foundation. Unfortunately, like this sort of energy will come around in cycles as it does from spirit. So let's see where we're going with that. There's some sort of communication coming through regarding perhaps your finances here. It could be an offer from someone that's going to sort of rock your world. But whatever this communication, it's someone taking action on something. So somebody bringing you some sort of information, advice, communication here. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow and steady sort of energy. But it's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Okay, and we have the Ten of Wands. I see what's happening here, rightio. Something here is being offered to you, given to you, communicated to you regarding something, again, that perhaps has been a long time in the making. When the Ten of Wands comes around, it says we've been carrying a burden for a really long time and we need to put that burden down. Sometimes that burden can be, you know, having it, because it's wands, it's not a burden that I would think is, it's more like an emotional burden coming through here. So it feels to me like you've been carrying the weight of something for a really long time. When we're carrying around a lot of worry and stress, our back aches. And I feel like this is what that card is all about. Remember, I'm a great believer in metaphysical. Our body's telling us that we've got an issue or problem and that we need to listen to it. I know that's different for some people, because for some people they will believe more in the medical model rather than metaphysical. So when I see the Ten of Wands, I think you're carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders or your back. You could be having trouble with your shoulders, your back, but this weight is becoming too hard to carry. I see here the universe is asking you to look at something you've been doing and maybe have a look at an opportunity to see it in a different way. Sometimes we are so fixated in the way we see things that when we start to see it, or someone challenges us, for example, or we get that epiphany moment, we can start seeing things differently, and it can come as a reflection from somebody else or being mirrored back to you through somebody else. It could come through somebody being honest with you about a relationship. It could come from realizing that, a person you've been dealing with, may not have your best interests at heart. But something here is being shown to you so you can see it from a different perspective. There are things throughout our lives that we are shown that sometimes we sort of dismiss a little bit, but I always say if the lesson is there, the universe will keep repeating the pattern until you understand that you need to see things in a different perspective. All right, because this is about self-growth. It's about understanding your potential, taking yourself further in life, going after what you want, becoming a stronger version of yourself here with the Strength card. Okay, and having a brand new beginning with the Fool card. So something is about to come to you that's going to help you see your world in a different way. Somebody asked me the other day about emotions and internalizing things. So just for example, if somebody told you when you were little, which I hear parents doing to their children a lot, that they're stupid, or, calling them names or whatever else. And I say to the person doing it, if I'm in a position to do that, what you're doing is you're impacting that person's growth. If you tell them that they're a certain way, then they will believe that's who they are. And for a lot of us, if you've had extremely abusive parents, you grow up thinking you are this thing that your parents made you. But sometimes it's so inherent, it's so ingrained in your personality that it's very difficult to see beyond that. Now, for people who've had very narcissistic parents, they may not have been narcissists, but they would have been very narcissistic in the way of thinking about themselves rather than looking at their children first. We would have grown up knowing that our emotions were the only thing that we could do to get noticed. It's the 2-year-old chucking a tantrum because they can't get their own way. For some of us, that energy stays with us as adults, and we don't realize it, but we look at everything through that emotional lens. Somebody said to me the other day that they thought the emotions came from the heart. I always say when I'm speaking with people, sometimes people will tell me, I think I feel that way, or I think that's the way I feel. And I think, no, you should be feeling the way you feel. If you're thinking your emotions, then you're thinking the emotions that you learned to think when you were young. So, when we get into that energy and we start thinking about the emotions, sometimes it can be very, very difficult to understand where the emotion's coming from. So I say to people, where are you feeling the emotion? If, for example, you've had somebody leave you, you've lost someone and you're grieving, very often that feels like a hole in the pit of your stomach. That is you feeling emotions in your body. If you are thinking your emotions, then you're not really feeling them in the way that you could really benefit by. It's just the way you've been taught. It's just the way you've been taught. Many of us grew up being told we weren't allowed to cry, and we weren't allowed to express ourselves, or we weren't allowed to experience that emotion. We got it slapped out of us, yelled out of us, whatever it would be. So some of us grow up believing that it's wrong to cry or show emotions. And certainly I hear a lot of people say to me that, I couldn't be vulnerable. That would be the wrong thing to do. And I think, but vulnerability should be natural for us. We should feel comfortable being vulnerable because we know how to stick up for ourselves. I wonder how many of you want to be vulnerable, but you're scared of the conflict. You're scared of the repercussions of that. So I feel like somehow or another that is what's coming through here, and has been coming through very much in the last few weeks. Something to do with seeing it for the first time. maybe seeing the way you respond to something, getting immersed in something that you are overthinking your way through rather than really looking at it from a logical perspective. I could go deeper and deeper on that, but it's just very, very intense. I have the Three of Cups coming through first. The Three of Cups for me, I can tell you now, whether it's in personal readings or whether it's in these readings, for me it's my third person card. There is something going on here where somebody else is involved. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic thing. It could be somebody coming between two people. For example, I've had somebody say to me, it's my partner's mother. You know, she always comes between us. She starts complications where they don't need to be. And my partner is very... finds it very difficult to separate from what she's telling him, so, or vice versa. So this, when we say third party, can mean that you have a relationship with someone where somebody else is involved, or it could mean that you've got an interference from a third party. So let's have a look and see what is going on here so you'll be able to piece together the reading. All right, we have the Nine of Wands, and that's my card of going round in circles. It is, to me, it is always the card that talks about us. This is the wounded warrior. It's where we've done something over and over again, and we are constantly hurting ourselves through that. We see it because we're stuck in that Nine of Wands energy. There is something from your past in regards to a third party situation. So something in your past here has left you with some sort of hurt and pain. Perhaps you're going over and over and over again in your mind about how this is. Sometimes when I start to worry, I actually pull it apart and I think, why on earth am I worried? What can I do by worrying about it? How can I solve the problem by worrying? And for some of us, it's really good to write your issue or problem out. It certainly helps to, 12:12 on the clock when I looked at it. It certainly helps to be able to write things out, to understand what you're doing. But something from the past here, in regards to a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or a person who cut off or severed a relationship with you due to a third party situation. I have the Sun coming through here, which is always lovely, with the Five of Wands and the World card. And again, I get this energy that I've had for some time around a situation that you've become involved in where somebody has removed the obstacle. I feel like they feel better for removing the obstacle. I feel it's better for them to have not have the obstacle in the way. And I feel like somehow or another that cycle has completed for them. You may still be going round and round with it because I feel like here there is a sort of strange sensation that you haven't let it go. So you're overthinking this round and round. And what we do when we get into that energy is we start dipping into that victim mode. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve it? We've all done it. And before you know it, you're sad and crying and unhappy because you've got into the energy here of what you're thinking about and not what you're feeling. But I can guarantee you, if you were in your feelings, you would just trust that if it was going to happen, it would happen. If it doesn't happen, then you trust that the universe had your best interest at heart. But I feel like I'm going round in circles here. Yet something here with the Judgment card has to be sorted out, especially with this Two of Swords. A decision needs to be made here because something here is creating distress for you because you're not trusting where your life or where the universe is taking you. You're sort of buried in this sadness here. So what you're doing is you're perpetuating your own sadness and going round and round in circles. There is an energy here of trusting the universe with the Judgment over the Sun card. I feel like you are maybe starting to understand how to let go of the ego and trusting that things will work out when they are meant to work out. but there is a really strong feeling here. You're getting very much into that ego energy, maybe beating yourself up, getting into the energy of a victim mentality. Remember, when you're in that energy, you're sending out to the universe an energy of lack. I don't have this situation. I don't have this person. And the best way to manifest what you want here is to cut out those energies that are holding you back and being focused on trusting that the universe is working in your favor. There is definitely something here coming towards you. Let's just put some more cards on it. I feel like something's going to show you that now. You're going to see it for yourself. As I always say to people, be the observer in your life. There is some sort of communication coming through here, possibly from somebody who's gone through some sort of ending, but it's going to help you find the ending to something that you need. You're going to see things from another perspective, and you're going to understand this takes like working on your own issues here with the Strength card. Building your own inner strength, getting rid of those demons, those ego components that you're carrying around with you. Because there's a brand new beginning here with the Fool. The don't give up card just showed its face to me too. So I feel like for some of you it is a matter of being trusting that you are good enough and that you will have what you want in your life. Wheel of Fortune. The universe is working in your favor here. The Page of Swords tells me somebody is coming in after a period of change. There's some sort of communication, again with the Empress energy here. There is somebody making their way towards you or making their way back towards you here with some sort of answers, some sort of communication here. You will get an explanation for what's happened. There's been a huge change here. A huge change. But look how this, if you have a look at the energies of these three cards, that's what I always look at. So this Page of Swords is coming in with communication. Where is he looking? He's looking at the transformation card. So there's definitely been some sort of change here. We've got Libra and Scorpio energy coming through here. So this person here is looking at the change, and the change is looking at the Empress. So this person looks to me like they've only got one thing on their mind. But if you're sort of in that energy of lack and not being sort of aware of how you're thinking about yourself in all of this, you're vibrating low. You're not vibrating in this Empress energy. I always say to people, people can't see your light if you're there. You need to get your light shining brightly, focusing on yourself, focusing on your own needs, desires, wants, not sort of being focused on what you don't have. But I feel like here, with the way these sort of energies are coming towards you here, it looks like something is coming towards you here that's going to bring great change to you as well. All right, let's have a look at an oracle card. There it is, Dakini of Infinite Light. It's card number 9. I love that. I want to say a big shout out to Denise too. Denise, I know you'll be watching. Thank you so much for the things you sent through to me. Beautiful scarf, gorgeous colours, and the cows. I was really impressed with those. So thank you for making them for me. They were absolutely beautiful. All right, so let's have a look at what she's saying. Seek and you shall find. Find the teachers and teachings which feel pure to your heart. But remember, it is the inner truth of you that will ultimately set you free. See? Amen. Do not give your power away, but do trust in a greater guiding wisdom at work in all aspects of your life. Ask for help from enlightened spiritual beings in any matter of concern, and help shall be granted. Believe all problems can be resolved, and a more grateful life experience is opening up for you now. Let's just have a look at the oracle message. The oracle of the Dakini of Infinite Life. augurs an increase of light in your life. This can include a lightening up after a difficult time. There's the Tower moment right there. An increase of clarity from a helpful healing and higher perspective. There's the Empress. Or a clear positive path opening up through a troublesome time. Her appearance signifies sacred victory. Call upon her and do not give up. What a beautiful card to get on that reading. Thank you, Spirit. Thanks, everyone.